Yananai, yananai, nemato. Yananai, yananai, umanai. Yananai, yananai, shevetaki, shevetaki, gam yachad. Yananai, yananai, nemato. Yananai, yananai, shevetaki. Yananai, yananai, shevetaki, shevetaki, gam yachad. Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, oh sisters and brothers, and sing Hine Mato. Yananai, yananai, nemato. Yananai, yananai, umanai. Yananai, yananai, shevetachim, shevetachim, gam yaha. Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, oh sisters and brothers, and sing Hine Mato. Yananai, yananai, nemato. Yananai, yananai, nemato. Yananai, yananai, umanai. Yananai, yananai, umanai. Yananai, yananai, shevetachim. Yananai, yananai, shevetachim. Shevetachim, gam yachad.
Hine matov umanayim shevetachim gam yachad. How good it is for us to get to be together on this Shabbat. It is a blessing to be here together, a blessing to share the joy of Shabbat, a blessing to create space for all of the wholeness and all of the brokenness with which we enter into this Shabbat, in the hopes that Shabbat can be restorative, can fill us up, and prepare us for another week yet to come. As a way of preparing ourselves for Shabbat, I want to encourage you to turn off your cell phones and pagers and anything that rings, jingles, and buzzes so we can be present to what's happening in the room. We are using our Shabbat rest and renewal, our Reclaiming Shabbat service. It's this service this evening. So if you grabbed a blue prayer book, you may want to go and switch it out. And also, we are going to use, when we get to the Amidah in the middle of the service, the insert, which should be in the front cover of your book. But if you happen to pull a book that doesn't have one, you may want to send someone to grab another one. We want to use the most correct version of the Amidah when we get there. But if I warn you now, you can prepare. We are going to continue our service by lighting the Shabbat candles and invite up Pat Baker to lead us in the lighting of the candles, which the blessings for which can be found on page 2.
O God, you are the light by which we see the ones we love. As we kindle these lights, we begin a holy time. May we and all Israel find in it refreshment of body and spirit and the sense that you are near to us at all times.
We give thanks for our home, where we find rest from the day's work and refuge from cares. May it be warm with love and companionship. May our joys be heightened and our sorrows softened by the love we give and receive.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu וציוונו להדליק נר של Shabbat.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You hallow us with mitzvot and command us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
May we be blessed with Shabbat joy. May we be blessed with Shabbat peace.
May we be blessed with Shabbat light. We continue with the words of Lecha Dodi, our blessing to welcome the Sabbath bride, which can be found, here's the strangest instruction in this book, on the page before page 1. When we get to the last verse of Lecha Dodi, we will rise and turn to face the back door as the Sabbath bride enters Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה.
שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, שמו תפארת תהילה.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו בנך, כי מקור חברך, מראש מקדם נצובך. סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. בואי ושלום אתן בעלה, גם בשמחה וצוות עולה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה.
Having greeted the Sabbath bride, let's take a moment and greet each other. Turn to someone you don't know, introduce yourselves, wish them Shabbat Shalom.
What key are we doing this? G?
No, C.
C.
Page 3 as we remain standing.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la.
Pray with me the words of the Ma'ariv Aravim in the middle of page 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim b'chokhma poteach she'arim uvidvuna mishane itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim b'mishmirotehem be'akir kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil bein yom uvein layla Adonai tziva'ot shemo El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. Pray with me in the middle of page 4 responsively. In the middle of page 5. The Torah is a tapestry which can adorn the days in which we dwell. Let us embrace it and make it our own, weave its text into the texture of our lives. Its teachings sustain us, its beauty delights us when we open our eyes to its splendor.
It is not a mystery or beyond reach. It is not in heaven beyond our grasp.
It is as close to us as we allow on our lips and in our hearts, integral to our deeds. It is the tangible gift of God's love. Weave its text into the texture of your lives. Shema, page 6.
Shema
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Leolam Vahed את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בעם, בשיטתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We cannot find redemption until we see the flaws in our own souls and try and efface them. Nor can a people be redeemed until it sees the flaws in its soul and tries to efface them. But whether it be an individual or a people, whoever shuts out the realization of one's flaws is shutting out redemption. We can be redeemed only to the extent to which we see ourselves. Michamocha, page 7.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
We made it. We are past the winter solstice, which means that the days are no longer getting shorter. They are now getting longer. But almost imperceptibly. I imagine that the winter solstice whizzed past most of you and you forgot to do all your winter solstice celebrating. Because the time when it goes from getting more and more dark to the time when it goes from getting a little less dark is hard to notice. Just like in the night when it goes from getting darker and darker and darker to starting to get just imperceptibly a little lighter and lighter and lighter is hard to notice. which is a reminder to us that while it may sometimes feel like we are in the part where it is getting darker, it may well be that we are in the part where it is getting lighter. Our prayer for protection in the darkness as we wait for the dawn is Hashkivenu at the top of page 8.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushor seiteinu, uvoenu, l'chaim u'shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
Vishamru at the bottom of the page.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim va'et haaretz. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshameru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
The time has come, the time I warned you about at the beginning of the service. We're going to do the Amidah, which means you need to find in the front of your book the insert with the most correct text. If you don't have the insert, it's close in the book. You'll be fine. I believe in you, but if not, join us on the insert as we rise for the Amidah.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi yagi. Ufi yagi tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi yagi. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Haseavot v'Imahot, U'mevei Gula libnei bneihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol atah Rav Le'Hoshia. Mashiv HaRuach U'Maroi Hagei Hashem. Mechayei Chayim Bechesed. Mechayei HaKol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofeh cholim. Umatir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha bal gevurot. Umidomelach. Melech meimit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללו הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We pray responsively in the middle of page 11. We thank you, O God, for your gift of Shabbat, for the sanctuary in which we observe it, and for the dear ones with whom we share it. May the joy of Shabbat gladden our hearts, and may its peace quiet our spirits. Bring us closer to one another in love, with laughter and soft words, with shared concerns and mutual respect. Help us so to live in the days ahead, that you may look upon all we have done for good and worthy of blessing. We continue with a prayer for peace, something most desperately needed in this world. Shalom Rav, page 12.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech hador lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech hador lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We take a few moments now to pray silently.
Yehiyu liratzon imrei fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai
pray now for healing and wholeness, for refuah shlema, for those in our lives who are in need of strength, for those struggling with chronic pain and illness, for those struggling with addiction and those in recovery. In our community, we're thinking of Bernie Berman, Bradley Borden, Melba Berman, Jennifer Carey, Miles Cohen, Richard Dana, Diane Dante, Rose Ann Finkel, Alan Garber, Marcine Goldman, Don Gorowitz, Rachel Goutreau Ellis, Sarah James, Lawrence Levy, Melanie Candler Little, Steve Miller, Carol Wasserstein, Rita Wilkenfeld, Roger Williams, Esther Batsipora, Chena Rochel Mindel Bat Aharon Vitsipora, and David Lipa Ben Miriam. Continue with the words of Misha Berach, which can be found on the right-hand column of page 13. We have this evening 2 birthday blessings, and I do not often do this, but I want to, even though you may not know each other, I want to bless you both together, and you'll see why in a minute. So Elizabeth Perez and Jane Root, will you please stand up? Where are you? There's Jane. Is Elizabeth here? Oh no, she didn't make it. That ruins my whole spiel. Jane is celebrating her 80th birthday with us this Shabbat. Elizabeth, who was detained, I suppose, is celebrating her 40th birthday, and I was going to do a whole spiel about 40 plus 40 and 80, and how that you should, by blessing for you, which we'll still do, is that like you should have all of the wisdom you have at 80, but all of the energy that you had at 40. That you continue to be surrounded by friends and family, that you continue to have a community that cares about you as much as you care about it, that you find strength and wholeness and harmony in these years to come. And the other thing that I was going to point out is there is a birthday blessing traditional in Judaism that you say that someone should live ad mea esrim, that someone should live to be 120, and 80 and 40 together is 120. So my hope and blessing for you also is that you live at least to 120, if not further, and continue to have all that energy from 40. Only if you get all that energy from 40. And we say together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov, happy birthday. A few brief announcements this Shabbat. We hope you'll stay with us through the end of services so that we can say Kiddush and Motzi together. This week's wine and challah were sponsored by our sisterhood. If you had a chance to pick up the Shabbat handout on your way in, everything I'm about to tell you is there in greater detail. Our My Generation group for 65 and older will host a bingo blast-off next Sunday evening, January 12th, while our Classics group for 50s and 60s will host a Shabbat dinner on Friday, January 17th. So if you're 50 or 60, you get to have dinner, and if you're 65 or older, you get to play bingo. Those are the rules. Cantor Simmons' annual concert entitled Longing and Belonging, Songs of Home will take place Sunday, January 26th at 4 p.m. This genre-defying concert will explore how the concept of home fits into our lives. You don't want to miss it, so please register online. And finally, we are excited to host Academy Award-winning actress Marlee Matlin as she presents Nobody's Perfect, Achieving Inclusion, Diversity, and Access on Thursday, January 30th at 7:30 p.m. Please reserve your seats today. Joey Lucas is coming. I'm so excited. A Jewish presidential candidate called his mother on election night to tell her that he had won. He's going to be president of the United States. Her reply, so? He tells her that she'll have to attend his inauguration. She replies, I don't have a thing to wear. He says, don't worry, I'll get you a dress. She says, but how will I get there? He says, I will send a car for you. At the inauguration, she's sitting amongst all the dignitaries, and as he is being sworn in a loud voice, she declares, see that fellow up there? His brother is a doctor. It's a classic Jewish move. There, in the middle of that joyous occasion, in front of powerful people, the Jewish mother finds a way to complain. And lest you think this is a trait only of Jewish mothers, in this week's Torah portion, Jacob pulls basically the same move. His son Joseph has risen to the post of viceroy of Egypt. He's not president per se, but maybe vice president to the most powerful man in the entire world. And when Joseph is reunited with his brothers, he has them move their father down to live with him in Egypt. When Jacob arrives, Joseph takes him to meet his boss, who is, and I cannot stress this enough, the most powerful man in the entire world. And what does Jacob do when he meets the Pharaoh? He complains, of course. Pharaoh inquires as to Jacob's age, and Jacob responds, the years of my sojourn on earth are 130. Few and hard have been the years of my life, and they do not compare to the lifespans of my father. If you met the Queen of England, and she asked you how old you were, I bet she'd be surprised if you replied, I've lived 130 years, and all of them have been terrible. And let's consider where Jacob is in his life. The son he thought was dead is actually alive and a ruler in Egypt. His family has been reunited. His son has devised a way for them to weather a devastating 7-year famine, and he's meeting the actual Pharaoh. It's hard to argue his life has been all bad. Now, to be fair, Jacob has experienced incredibly dark times. He had to run from his brother. He thought for the longest time he'd lost his beloved son. He has absolutely suffered. But even when the suffering has abated, Jacob cannot see it. He has moved from the darkness into the light, and yet his eyes cannot seem to adjust. He is bitter and broken, muttering to Pharaoh about what could have been. In fact, the Midrash asks why Jacob's life was 33 years shorter than his father's. It answers that even though he had been given back all his children whom he had lost, Joseph, Benjamin, and Dinah, still he complained. And how many Hebrew words are in the complaint in these two verses? Exactly 33. His negative outlook is literally taking years off of his life. Compare this to his son Joseph, who has endured as much darkness as Jacob, if not more. Loathed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused of sexual misconduct, thrown into prison. You think you've got it bad? Joseph had it worse. His story begins with him being thrown into a pit, and somehow there's a lot more down to go before he finally hits rock bottom. And yet, despite all the darkness, his response is light. When he finally reveals himself to his brothers, he tearfully exclaims, "I am your brother Joseph. Now do not be distressed or reproach yourselves because you sold me here. It was to save all our lives that God sent me ahead of you." Having endured all that suffering on account of his brothers, now he has come to believe that everything happens for a reason. Sure, he has landed on his feet. He's the vice president of Egypt after all. But he traveled through a long, dark tunnel to get there, and yet he seems free from any vestiges of bitterness. When he cries, it is only tears of joy. The difference between Jacob and Joseph is not the amount of suffering or even the ratio of darkness to light. The difference is only how they choose to respond. Perhaps the most infuriating line in the entire Hebrew Bible comes from the 12th chapter of Proverbs. No harm befalls the righteous, but the wicked have their fill of misfortune. It's hard not to resent the faith of the biblical author when we know this not to be true. We know that even the righteous suffer misfortune. Each of our lives will contain pain and loss, hospital beds, and earth-shattering phone calls. This is part of what it means to be human. We cannot turn off the darkness any more than we can will the sun to come up and end the night. But perhaps we can choose how we respond. Will we be like Joseph or Jacob? Will we see the light at the end of the tunnel? Or if there's no light, will we learn to make our home in the darkness? Or will we only struggle against it? Suffering does not by its nature have meaning. The cancer diagnosis is neither punishment nor pedagogy. It neither teaches nor tests. And yet when the diagnosis comes, perhaps there is something to learn. Perhaps there is growth to be found. Rabbi Dale Friedman is an expert in Jewish spiritual care for the elderly. She also happens to be my aunt, so I can say without any bias that she recently wrote a brilliant article on the spiritual needs of those living with dementia and those caring for them. Of all the human sufferings, the threat of dementia is one that many of us find particularly terrifying. Rabbi Friedman describes this as a profound dread, citing a 2017 study that found that 38% of Americans are more afraid of dementia than anything else. We fear it despite its ubiquity. Dementia currently affects about 5 million Americans. This number is expected to rise to 14 million by 2050. According to current estimates, about 10% of those over 65 and 1/3 of those over 85 live with dementia. As my aunt explains, dementia will touch us. Even if we live long enough, we will likely have it. And if not, we will no doubt encounter it in our parents, our partners, and friends. And yet the fear of dementia keeps us from acknowledging this reality. It keeps us from having honest and brave conversations with the ones we love. It affects us all, and yet we can't seem to talk about it. Seeing this disconnect, Rabbi Friedman sets out to unpack the fear and chart a new way forward. To do this, she uses the teaching of the Baal Shem Tov, the 18th century mystic and founder of Hasidic Judaism. The Besht, as he is sometimes known, proposes a threefold approach to dealing with adversity. Hachna'ah, yielding. Havdalah, discernment. And hamtakah, sweetening. Through these three steps, the Besht teaches we can find some light even in the darkest times. The first set is hachna'ah, or yielding. Our response to suffering is often to resist, to fight. And some amount of fighting is good. We can change our circumstances. But when we stiffen, we also risk breaking. It is a lot more difficult to snap a flexible reed than a rigid branch. And so the Besh teaches, when the world is coming on strong, we must learn sometimes to soften and bend. For my aunt, she tries to open herself up to the reality of dementia. She practices saying, "When I get dementia." She calls it an invitation to imagination. She says that every time her guts rebel to this thought, but this is a part of the process of learning how to yield. When the hard things come in our lives, we have to learn to see where our rigidity will help us and where it will only strain us. Jacob never learns to yield. Years after his son is pronounced dead, he is still in as much agony as the day he heard the news. Joseph, on the other hand, yields. He does not resist the turns and tumbles of his life and instead finds a way to thrive in each new situation. And in this way, he bounces down each new ledge of his descent until, after a time, he finds that he is actually rebounding back up. The second step is havdalah, discernment. When we soften to our circumstances, we will often discover that what we thought was total darkness is in fact more complex. My aunt describes this as the phenomenon of our eyes adjusting to the darkened room. It turns out there is shadow and shades of darkness, and if we try hard, we can make out tiny fragments of light. She describes the process of bringing curiosity to an unwelcome reality. Having arrived in a place we hoped to avoid, we endeavor to take in and fully inhabit that landscape. In the darkest moment of Joseph's life, in prison, he meets the butler who will someday offer him liberation. Even there, he finds ways to dream and to interpret the dreams of others. Even in the depths, he is able to search out light. The final step is hamtakah, wrestling sweetness. Having done the work of Havdalah, discerning darkness from light, we can now turn our energy to taking that light and transforming it into joy. It may be small blessings or lessons learned. It may be extra time with family or an opportunity to slow down. We need not say, God gave me this disease so that I can learn patience. But we can say, I have this disease and through it, I am learning patience. It is this sweetness that allows Joseph to greet his brothers without any lingering animosity. This sweetness, he comes to understand, is not just his ability to save himself and Egypt from famine, but his brothers and his father most especially. This sweetness does not erase the bitterness of his journey, but it does make it easier to swallow. Rabbi Friedman points out that the Baal Shem Tov's approach is not Pollyanna-ish. He knew great suffering in his own life. He does not deny pain or minimize its severity. Rather, she says, the sage boldly reminds us that even the most wrenching agony may also contain goodness if we are able to be open to it. It is also important to note that this approach does not relieve us of our obligation to diminish suffering where we can. Despite this internal work, we are still obligated to address the pain of our neighbors and the injustices in our community. The fact that meaning can sometimes be found in suffering does not permit us to tolerate suffering where it can be prevented or ameliorated. So this is how we move from Jacob to Joseph, from complaining in front of the king to embracing our brothers. It begins with yielding, with knowing when to resist and when to soften. From there, we move to discerning, letting our eyes adjust to darkness until we can perceive the light. And from there, if we are lucky, we may even find sweetness. We may even experience joy. To walk the human journey is to experience the valleys and not just the mountains, to know the heights and the depths. The project of a life of meaning is not just learning the difference between the two, but also knowing that there is sweetness to be found in both. It is only then that we know the meaning of the words of Proverbs. No harm befalls the righteous. Yes, we may suffer, but it need not feel like we have been done harm if in our suffering there is also hope. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with the words of Emanu l'Shabeach, which can be found on page 14. We invite you please to rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'atei kedula le'otzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
A poem not found in your book entitled How the Rainbow Works by Al Young for Jean Cook on learning of her mother's death. Mostly we occupy ocular zones, clinging only to what we think we can see. We can't see wind or waves of thought, electrical fields or atoms dancing, only what they do or make us believe. Look on all life as color, vibratile movement, heart-centered from invisibility to the merely visible. Never mind what happens when one of us dies. Where were you before you even got born? Where am I and all the unseeable souls we love at this moment or loathed before birth? Where are we right now? Everything that ever happened either never did or always will with variations. Let's put it another way. Nothing ever happened that wasn't dreamed, that wasn't sketched from the start with artful surprises. Think of the dreamer as God, a painter, a ham to be sure, but a divine old master whose medium is light and who sidesteps tedium by leaving room both inside and outside this picture for subjects and scenery to wing it. Look on death as living color too, the dyeing of fabric, submersion into the temporary sea, a spectrum beyond the reach of the sensual range, which, like time, is chained to change. The strange notion that everything we've ever done or been until now is past history, is gone away, is bleached, bereft, perfect, leaving the scene clean to freshen with pigment and space left over for light. On this Shabbat, as we prepare for Mourner's Kaddish, we recall with tenderness the yahrzeits of Max Abrams, Gloria Friedman Altman, Mary Arriaga, Fishel Askenaz, Reuben Askenaz, Samuel Barnes, Selma Baskin, Libby Bender, Bertha Bender, Grigory Benzman, Gersh Benzman, Gertrude Black, Marion Blyden, Max Block, Clara Block, Ben Blum, Jerome Bormaster, Modesto Botas, Barbara Brockstein, Alan S. Brooks, Elaine Waldman Brown, Rachel Ray Mayer Brown, Charles Richard Bruno, Marcia Masson Burke, Beatrice Selden Berman, Alfred Cantor, Marcia B. Cohen, Gloria Cohn, Louis Colton, Simon Copeland, Molly Bertha Cutler, Leon Davidson, Betty Davis, Sam Evener, Annie Simon Evans, Sadie Fleischman, Abraham Forsmith, Rose Z. Forsmith, Dorothy Rosenberg Fractor, Ida Fradkin, Irma Frankel, Itzhak Friedenberg, Yetka Friedenberg, Jake Gates, Sandra Gershon, Robert Gold, Goodwin Goldfaden, Ben Goldstein, Rachel Cohen Greenfeld, Harold Buddy Grogan, Vivian Goodman Groner, Rita D. Hassenfeld, Henry Ray Hecht, Martin Hirsch, Lena Herzstein, Morris Herzstein, Esther Annette Lesky Hockman, Meyer Hoffman, Paul Hussman, Krishnamurta Jayaram, Rose Juran, Paul Kahn, Roselle Rosenthal Kahn, Ann Kamen, Sarah Kammerling, Leon L. Kern, Joe Kipperman, Celia Kless, Celia Klickstein, Evelyn Krantz, Emma Krautkopf, Beatrice Haas-Lack, Victor Lavallee, Thelma Jacques-Paul Lavallee, Jacob E. Leiker, Lillian Lerman, Aaron Lewis, Martin Louie, Joe Lipper, Richard Longnecker, Irene Lutz, Bertha Lusky, Fanny Molaski, Marty Nathan, Irving Oppman, H. Peter Oshman, George Ovetsky, Max Pagel, Rosa Pagel, Aaron Pasternak, Edna Winter Raffleson, Sarah R. Rich, Howard Rich, Ben Rychek, Samuel Reif, Johnny B. Reinstein, Dory Reisenfeld, Benjamin Rosen, Doris Rosenbaum, Lena Rosenblum, Miriam E. Rosemarin, Marjorie Rumsey, Monette Salmon, Roberta Saltzman, Tilly Saman, Sybil Abovitz Seidel, Helen Seinfeld, Mame Selber, Josephine Pepe Silberman, Stanley Silverman, Sam Skolnick, Howard K. Smith, Scott Summers, Sam Spillane, Ben C. Steinberg, Helen Fagan Steinberg, Isidore Stone, David Strauss, Fanny Strauss, Richard L. Sussman, Leon Thaw, Lauren R. Tritter, Shizuka Tushida, Willie Vedlitz, Lillian Weil, Hannah Vykuk, Ethel L. Wag, Leon Weingarten, Pearl Weiss, Sarah Rose, Sally Clark Weiss, T. Tibby Wise, Alexander Winter, Ida Whitley Wright, Cecile Wolfe, Harry L. Zimmerman, Stephen Zimmerman, Miriam Zinner, and Max Zweig. If there are others that you're recalling on this Shabbat, or if I've misspoken any of the names on the list, I invite you to share those names as my eyes meet yours. The words of Mourner's Kaddish are found on page 16. We rise together. Hitkadal v'hitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach urtei ve'al michma chutei, B'chayachon v'yomachon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam umea maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithale v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha brichu. Le'ela mimkol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'ne'emata. Ta'amiram be'ama v'imru amen. Ehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav huya asei shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Osei shalom b'mromav huya asei shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
You may be seated. Kiddush and Motzi are not in your book, but we hope you know them. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemaaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Our closing song is Osei Shalom, which I think is on the back. Well, it says it's on the back inside cover, but that's a lie. It's at the bottom of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 16.
Osei shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Osei shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al shvei v'shvei tevel ve'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen.
Chaim, source of light and life. May we experience Hachna'ah, may we yield without breaking. May we experience Havdalah, may we find discernment without losing our way. And may we experience Hamtakah, may we find sweetness that overwhelms the bitterness. We thank you for all the many blessings in our lives, and we say together, Amen.
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 Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.